Mm.
Good morning, everybody. Joy here. As you guys know, I have started this podcast to share my entrepreneurial journey with everybody. And today I am more excited about any other interview that I have done, and I've done quite a few because today I've got Alex. I'm actually literally getting goosebumps. I'm so excited. She is a big idol for me, and I've looked up to her since the IFA in February because she just sparkled since then.
Are you thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, but you're not exactly sure if that is for you? Or you have tried a few times, but you have failed? Or maybe you are currently on your journey, but you're not exactly sure you're taking the right path and if you're doing the right things? Follow along on this podcast where I will be sharing my entrepreneurial journey with you all. I will be sharing my successes, my failures, and also my challenges. The best part is I will also be interviewing fellow entrepreneurs that will be sharing their stories and their successes. This is my podcast, Entrepreneurial Journey, and I am Joy Nicholson.
Hi, Alex. How are you doing?
Great. How are you? I'm excited to be here, Joy.
I am so excited to have you on. To see you grow has been such an inspiration for me. And, because we basically did the IFA together in February and, you just boom since then. I was like, whoa, what just happened? Slow down, Alex. I can't keep up with you.
I think I said what just happened too. I was like, whoa.
That's awesome. Please tell your story a little bit. How did you get started? How did you start this journey? I know you get this question a lot, but.
Well, yeah, this is great. So here's how I got started. Basically, I'll keep it short for everybody. Basically, I was a nurse for most of my professional life. I ended up in a situation where the company that I was working for shut down, so I lost my job right away. It was like very fast, and I had a choice. It was like, go back and try to find another job as a nurse, or I always had this like secret nights and weekends passion of like trying to make it online. And I had been trying for over a decade. I've been trying for like 14 years. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say I've tried everything to make it online. Like I tried e-com, I tried digital marketing agency, affiliate, like you name it. I had blogs, like everything. And I just never, I'd have like a little success here or there, but I never made enough money to actually like leave my job. It just never really took. So, I had this opportunity where I lost my job and I was like, I can go back and find another one, or I can just like go balls to the wall and do this and try. So that's what I did. I wouldn't recommend doing what I did, but what I did was I cashed in my retirement and I was like, I'm going to live on this and I'm going to try to make it, right? So I thought that was a good plan. And, we just started trying to make it happen, went through a couple iterations as it so happens, finally started to get some traction. And unfortunately, right at that moment, as the universe would have it, my mom had an accident, a really bad accident. And it was to the point where she required like total care. And as I had been a nurse and was the only medical professional in the family, it really fell squarely on my shoulders to take care of her. So where I was gaining momentum, I suddenly had no time at all to put into that business. And we ended up losing all of that momentum, the income from that business, like everything. And ended up, unfortunately, having to like move in with my mom to take care of her because she required medicine every 4 hours. I had to turn her in bed. She couldn't even turn herself like every 2 hours. So it was just very hands-on. So we just decided, all right, gave up our place because we couldn't afford it anyway at this point. We'd run out of money, taking care of my mom full time. And, we did that for several months. And it got to a point where it was like, we need a plan. We're running out of savings. We're running out, like, what are we going to do here? And so my wife decided she would take care of my mom full time, and I needed to figure it out. Like it was like, you got to go figure this out. So I was like, all right. So that's what I did. I just kind of out of I'd love to say I came into this game with some like lofty goals. At the time, I really didn't. I came into this game desperate. I came into this game terrified. I came into this game because I needed money. And I think that's actually a really common theme. Actually, a lot of people come into the online space because they're desperate, right? I know I was. So, I fell into the ClickFunnels world, the sales funnels world, and particularly affiliate marketing with ClickFunnels because it looked like a great way to make some quick money. And I was like, ooh, I'll do that. Okay. And I started to get like little biddly bits of success here and there. You know, I had a funnel and some affiliate products, and I would run some traffic to it, and I would make a couple $100 and I'd be like, oh, this is great. Okay, this is awesome. And then my next run wouldn't be very good. And I'm like, oh, crap. No, this is not it. All right. You know, I was trying to figure it out. And then came across the One Funnel Away Challenge. And the One Funnel Away Challenge just like blew my brain open as to what was possible, right? And really just taught me structure for what I was doing. Before, I was just kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall. This gave me structure. And I remember Steve Larsen saying, publish daily, publish daily. Like, if you publish daily, you will never starve a day in your life. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do that. Like, I don't want to starve, because that's where I'm at right now. So I started to think about, okay, so like, where am I going to publish? Do I publish on YouTube? Do I publish on a blog? Like, where do I go? What do I do? And I started thinking about that. And then, of course, the concept of funnel hacking was taught to us. And I was like, and for those of you who don't know what funnel hacking is, it's kind of this like clever word for go check out your competitors. Like, who are the people in your niche, in your space, that are just killing it? Like, the people that already have the attention of your audience. Who are the people that already are like where you want to be, right? And what are they doing? And for funnel hacking, it's really about like looking at their sales funnel. But I took it a step further. I was like, what are they doing online? Like, how are they getting an audience? So I was like checking out their YouTube. I was checking out their blogs. I was checking out their Facebook groups. I was checking out everything. And I was really starting to deal with the Facebook platform, right? Like, I was kind of getting active on the Facebook platform. A lot of the OFA was happening on the Facebook platform. So, it was a comfortable place for me. What I noticed really quickly was that every single one of these competitors that I was evaluating had a Facebook group, and a really vibrant, active, engaged Facebook group. And they were going live, and they were teaching, and they were training, and they were making offers and making money and serving people and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's what's going on. I see. And I was like, I can do that. No problem. So, and then I realized, that's where I'm going to publish daily. I'll publish daily in my group. This is perfect, right? So it was kind of like knocking over some big stones. Like, I could publish daily and build an audience at the same time. And not just an audience, not like an audience that you have on YouTube or an audience you have on a blog, but I don't like this word very much, but kind of a captive audience. Like you're in this group, like it's a community, it's a tribe, it's a group of people that are all excited about the same topic. They all want to learn. They're all engaged. And you press the live button and whoop, there you are. And there's 30 people looking back at you, that kind of thing. So it was a cool interactive kind of environment. And I enjoyed that. That interactivity. So set up a group, started going live. One of the guys who I was like learning from, Doug Boughton at the time, he was doing daily recaps of everything that he had learned in the One Funnel Away Challenge on that day. So at 9:00 at night every night, he'd go live and he'd teach like just a daily recap. He'd be like, okay, this is what we talked about. This is what we learned. This is how I implemented. These are my takeaways. This is my insight on this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's a really cool model. Because I kept asking myself, like, I don't know what to teach people. I don't know anything. I don't have any skill set. I don't have anything smart to say to people. Like, I'm just getting started, right? Like, I had nothing. So when I saw what he was doing, and he was like super unassuming about it. He was like, yeah, I used to be this waiter, and now I just started doing this thing, and here we are, and making money, and oh my God. It was really pretty cool. So I was like, if that guy can do it, well, then I can do it. It was awesome. And I've told him the story, and he cracks up. But I was just like, yeah, man, this dude who's just like some waiter. I was like, this is great. Yeah, if he can do it, I can do it. Like, it gave me belief. I'm like, that's what you need, belief. You have to believe that it's possible for you. And then, of course, Russell, in Belief Week was just like knocking down all my fears and all my doubts and all my limiting beliefs. It was amazing. So I was just like, I came out of that like, yeah, let's do it. Woo, exactly. I was ready. I was like, all right. So, I got my belief dialed in, and I just started modeling what was working, and started going live, doing my daily recaps as well, just like Doug was doing. Mm-hmm. But, filtering it through the lens that is me. He was filtering it through the lens that is him. I was filtering it through the lens that is me. I've seen so many other people do this, filter it through the lens that is them. And I think you do them, right? You do recaps as well. Yeah. You filter it through your lens. And the cool thing, you're bringing yourself to the party. You're bringing yourself to the equation. People are falling in love with you. So it's not just the OFA they're learning about, but they're like, oh, what's going on in Joy's life? Oh, what's up with Joy today? Oh, you know, like that kind of thing. Like, well, what insights does she have, right? So that's the cool thing. And they start to build a bond with you. They start to build something that I like to call KLT factor, know, like, and trust factor. They start to like want to tune in. It's almost like, you know, programmatic television. It's almost like that, like, you know, so it's a really cool experience that starts to happen. So that's what I did. And, it started to grow. It just started to grow pretty quick. Had some pretty quick growth spurts. You know, went from 0 to 2,000 members in 90 days, and
That's amazing.
made about, yeah, it was pretty cool. Made about 45K in commissions in 90 days, which was also just an amazing thing. And you know, I think that I could have gone on that, like, continued on that path of like affiliate marketing, but I listened to my audience. And my audience was resoundingly saying, teach us how to build a Facebook group. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? They recognized that something powerful was happening and they wanted to understand it. And
Exactly.
yeah, I don't even know that I understood it, but I heard the call loud and clear, and I was like, I'll go study Facebook groups and I'll formalize my knowledge and I'll be right back. So that's what I did. And then just sort of started to develop a real, genuine, deep interest, and over time, and learning and experimenting and expertise in Facebook groups. So, and not just that, but community building, tribe building, you know, building just rabid tribes of super fans, like that kind of thing, you know, and really being able to get people excited and on board about whatever it is you're doing. So
I have to tell you, I've done it again, OFA challenge, and in this challenge, it was quite funny because they were talking about how, you know, people actually go and funnel hack, you know, the one funnel away, and which, I mean, we all did it, I'm sure, at some point. And this one guy was saying, I can't remember, he said, there's also one group away, and everyone is like, yes, it's great, yes, Alex, it's great, and people just had all these comments about how fabulous this is, and whether they're in your group or not in your group, but people know about it. So, and this is the August, you know, challenge. So just to let you know, it is out there. People know about it.
Inside the August challenge, they're talking about it. That just like blows my mind. I had no idea. I'm not even in that group. I didn't even do the OFA this time around. That is so crazy. I love it. That's so fun. That like makes me happy. It makes me really happy to know. I just wanna like serve people with this. I want to give people this superpower because it feels like a superpower. You know, when I mean, it's an amazing thing, and I want people to have that. So that's very cool. That makes me happy.
I was very happy when I said, like, yeah, Alex, you're making name. You don't even know. There's like extra name. People that don't know you. So what is your secret sauce? What is that? I would say, what is your 3 to 5 leadership principles that you would tell people, you know, this is your recommendation?
Wow. That's a serious question. I like it. 3 to 5 leadership principles. That sounds so serious. Okay. This is what I would say. And it's great. I love that you did not give me these questions beforehand because I can just be raw, real, and honest and just tell you from my heart. Number 1, empathy. Care about your people. You know, when people come to me and they say, oh, should I do, you know, what niche should I do? What this? And I'm like, you know, they're talking all these other niches. I'm just like, who do you love? Who do you want to hang out with all day long? Who can you just like not get enough of on your free time when nobody's paying you? Who are you hanging out with? Who are you just like shooting the breeze with? Because those are your people. Those are your people, right? Because guess what? Times are going to get hard. Times are going to get hard. And you're going to have to plug into something bigger than money and success and blah, blah, blah. You got to plug into a community that you love. So you better care a lot and have a lot of empathy for your people, right? So that's number 1. And, you know, another leadership principle that I would talk about is be a servant leader. You know, don't be this kind of leader that's like an authoritarian, like do as I say, not as I do, or you feel that you're above or you're better than or whatever. I mean, the best leaders lead from behind and push their people forward, right? So lead from behind and push your people forward and leave no one behind, right? So that's another thing I would say. Oh, you got me thinking, man. You really got me thinking. I feel like I'm like, oh boy,
Alex,
so serious. Okay, and like a third one, let's see, is vulnerability, transparency, authenticity. Simply be you in all your weirdness, in all your imperfection, in all your rawness. I mean, I curse, and I really just don't care. Like, it just happens. It just comes out. And if I sat around trying to censor myself all the time, I'd look like I was constipated. It just wouldn't work. It would not work. You know what I mean? So I drop an F-bomb. What are you going to do? Like, it happens. If you don't like it, tune out. Like, I don't know, go somewhere else. Like, I can't help it. It's just me, right? So you just got to be your raw, real, wonderful, authentic self. And what's going to happen is you're going to magnetize to yourself your people, and you will naturally repel those for whom it's all too much, right? And that's cool. That's fine. No problem. Like, church ladies might not be my group. That's fine. But my group, they know me. They love me. They don't care. They're like, she curses. It's charming. Whatever. Like, they just let it, So you just have to be yourself, and you have to be real, and you can't sugarcoat it. You can't whatever. People see through it. So be real, be vulnerable, be authentic, care and care and care and care and care, and lead from behind. So that would be.
I love hearing you say this because, like when you have conversation with people and you start networking and people know each other. And I've had quite a few conversations with people, and every single time I had a conversation, and weirdly enough, you would come up or somebody, it will always be the thing is she really is. And this is always a thing that people, it's the first thing that people notice when they talk about you, is that you really genuinely care about people. And that's something really special, and you don't get that a lot. So I want to actually thank you for that, for caring for people, because it really, Alex, honestly, it makes a big difference, and people, they notice, they definitely notice.
That means a lot to me, because it's funny, I did an exercise in a course that I was taking. I was taking Tony Robbins and Dean Graciosi's Knowledge Business Blueprint course, and they had us identify, like, they asked us the question, what is your superpower? And do you want to know what I identified as my superpower?
That was actually one of my questions, so please do.
Okay, well, good. So my superpower is that I care and people know it. That is my superpower. So it's very funny to me and interesting and amazing and satisfying and joy-giving that people do know it, right? When I say I care and they know it, like, I really do. I really genuinely do. I wasn't a nurse for over 10 years because I enjoyed it. I was a nurse for it because it's hard work. It's really hard work. It's brutal work. And it's painful emotionally. I've put more bodies in a body bag than I care to even discuss. Like, I was an ICU nurse, and 50% of people don't make it out of the ICU. Like, I'm very familiar with death. I'm very familiar with pain and loss and suffering, and I care. So, I wouldn't subject all myself to all that stuff for years and years if I didn't really genuinely care. So I do care very much. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. So in the beginning we talked about, you're following Doug, and you did, the kind of thing, but who is that person that opened the door for you to what you're doing at the moment?
Ooh, so that's a really interesting question, because it's kind of like, it's like this meta thing. So, who opened the door for me to Facebook groups would be Andrew Cruzy. Andrew Cruzy, I took his group growth and monetization blueprint course, which is a spectacular course, and everybody should take it. My challenge, my One Group Away challenge, in several ways draws upon some things that I learned directly from Andrew. It draws upon some things that I learned from another Facebook groups mentor that I have. It draws upon things that I experimented with in my own groups, and just that data, bringing that back. But there's this wonderful weave of information, and Andrew's imprints are all over it. And you'll see in the course, like I probably say the guy's name like 10 times. I'm like, this is from Cruzy, this is from Cruzy, this is from, like, because obviously you want to attribute, right? So yeah, I mean, I really learned some great foundational stuff from him. And not only that, and I love the guy, and I continue to invest with him. I'm going to his Tribe of Buyers event in a month in October. So I just love learning from him. Yeah, he's amazing. So, yeah. But, you know, it's interesting. He opened the door to this. But it's funny that you asked that question, because another door has opened, and there's more coming and more happening after this, right? I was so excited to push this out into the marketplace, and just kind of, it was my way of serving my people. My people had asked the question, how do we do Facebook groups? And this was my answer to my people. It's funny because I never thought it would serve anybody outside of DM Host, which is my Facebook group, Digital Marketing Hacks for Online Entrepreneurs. I never actually thought it was going to be anything beyond that. I was like, oh, we'll just launch it to the group. It'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. And now you're telling me, like, people in One Funnel Away Challenge are talking about it, which is cracking me up. Like, it's starting to kind of seep, and like other people are learning about it, which is really cool, you know, like that's awesome. But I haven't done any paid advertising. I haven't done anything like that. I don't think it was ever meant to be like some massive part of my value ladder, honestly. And I know, weird, right? But so what's happened now is the next person who's been extremely, and who is going to be extremely pivotal in my development, is Liz Benny. And I've just signed up for her Kapow Accelerator course or program. Really, it's like a program that I'm doing with her. And it's small group coaching, and that's what's next for me. So I'm going to be building out a real value ladder, building out a coaching program, building out, I want to do workshops and probably live events and things like that. So that's probably what's next. Yeah. So I'm excited. And she is already, I mean, I've only been really working with her in any very limited capacity at this point, just getting started for the last 2 weeks, and it's already been mind blowing. So I'm very excited for what's next.
She's a big inspiration to me as well, and many other entrepreneurs. So you're very privileged to be able to do this with her. So I'm so excited for you. That is like really amazing stuff. That's really, really cool. Now, we've talked about all your entrepreneurial things, which is absolutely fantastic, but I want to drill down to a bit more personal things, not like person, but what do you do to take care of yourself? Because, as entrepreneurs, and I'm very guilty at this, I don't run as much as I should. I don't do the yoga as much as I should. But what is your daily routine of just taking care of Alex? Because if Alex is not there to serve the people will be screwed. So what does Alex do?
I'll be fine, but I hear you. Yeah. So I have to tell you, in the beginning, I was terrible at this. I was terrible at this. Like, I was not good. So I had to learn how to get better. I really did. I had to learn how to get better, because in the beginning I was working, at first, when my mom first had the accident, I was like not sleeping. I was getting up at 4 a.m., going to bed at midnight, like trying to just fit it into every little free moment I could. Then when my wife started taking care of my mom, then I'd go for 14 hours a day, just straight, just hustling, not stopping. And I started to kind of like burn out pretty bad. And then I ended up having to take the entire month of May. I just took it off. What I did is I loaded up my group scheduler, my post scheduler for 30 days. And I just set it on autopilot, and I just checked out. I just couldn't. I was so burned out from pushing myself. And I spent that time journaling and reading and taking the KBB course, and just, because I kind of had like, I just really run myself to the ground. So, and that was a phenomenal time, because I started working out again. I started eating healthier. I just kind of like got back to myself. So yeah, now I've got a really kind of amazing schedule where aside from last week, which was launch week, and I did not get a lot of sleep, but that was mainly my problem. I was just too like, I was all geeked out on adrenaline, right? So I couldn't sleep. But normally, when it's not launch week, I definitely sleep 8 hours. So I have this inversion table, like where you hang upside down. one of those things.
Got it.
Because I have like a thing in my back. So like my my back gets tweaked sometimes if I sit too long. So I hang on that inversion table for like 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. And I found a really cool thing. Not only does it help my back, I mean, all that beautiful oxygenated blood going to my brain. I'm not kidding. I hang upside down for 10 minutes and it's like I'm levitating. Like I feel so good. There's like this sensation of well-being that takes over, and I get creative and I get like really cool ideas. So I just hang on that bad boy and I'm just like, I love it. It's great. And I go to the gym just about every day that I can. I don't make it every day, but I probably make it about 5 times a week to the gym, because it's just, the treadmill or the bike are where I have like tremendous creative ideas. Like I get my next idea on the treadmill, or I get my next idea on the bike, and my brain and body have come to anticipate that. They want that. They look forward to that. So it's like, if I'm missing my time in the gym, I'm like, I need to go have another idea. Like I like that, so that's where I have my ideas. I listen to like personal development stuff, or I read, or, some type of edification. I do a lot of meditation. I come back and I'll meditate sometimes for up to 45 minutes. I do meditation, I do visualization, I listen to, like, I do affirmations, anything to get myself into a space of like, like I got this day is mine. Like, I really work on my energy level. I work on my intention. I work on my focus. I work on where my energy is going. Super, super, super positive. I just kind of refuse to let the negative in. I've gotten really good about I don't watch TV at all. Like at all. It doesn't even, so we just moved into this place about a month and a half ago. My mom gave us a gift. Like we didn't have a TV. Intentionally did not have a TV. She couldn't stand it. My mom is such a TV junkie. Couldn't stand it, and bought us like just this. It's almost as big as my whiteboard. It's obscene. This TV. I'm like, we're gonna like have a sports bar in here. It's so huge. So she bought us this obscene television, and we haven't. I don't want the thing. I don't want it in my house. I don't like. I just kind of. So it's very funny. We have this TV that every time she comes over, I'm like, I know. I'm gonna put it up, Mom. I just, so yeah, it's like ridiculous. So it's just funny. So I try to just keep my brain, clean from all the negativity that's out there in the world. I read a ton. I like to listen to Audible. That's mostly, between trying to feed my head and keep my head in top shape, keep my body in top shape. That's kind of how I do it. I do other things, like I drink greens. I drink like a greens drink every day. I take my supplements every day. I drink a ton of water. You'll always see me drinking water. That's it, mostly. That's it.
And I'm so grateful that you say this, because I always tell my students to, if you struggle with something, meditate. If you struggle with something, visualize. I've got a vision board, and every single time I have a conversation with somebody, I'm struggling, I'm not reaching my goals. I'm like, do you have a vision board? Do you visualize this every day? Do you live in that moment of happiness, positivity? Do you meditate? No, I'm like, well, you're going to have to start somewhere, and that's your starting point. So I'm very grateful coming from you that has the proven success, that's like, this is what you do. This is what leaders do.
Let me tell you, without that practice, without the practice of every single day getting into the emotional state, I literally work myself up into the emotional state of extreme gratitude. And from a place of extreme gratitude, I begin to visualize everything that I want. And it's like, I'll sometimes have tears running down my face from these visualizations and from this, that like just, I am in that space. It's already happened, and I'm so deeply grateful. And I mean, without that, like, I would not feel grounded. And I'm so clear on what my future looks like that I remember my future. I don't remember my past. I sit around and I think about memories of my future because I'm so future focused, right? And I know where I'm going. And it may not look exactly like that when I get there, but it'll look close, and I'm clear. And I think the clearer you get on that, the chances are higher you're going to actually get there, right? So that's just my take on it. But yeah,
I completely agree with you. I completely, it's absolutely, it's fantastic advice. Now, okay, so we've talked about that. So your relationships, how is that? because obviously you're very close with your wife and you guys have a great bond and you support each other. And I know she's been doing some amazing things out there. And just to see you guys supporting each other like that online, it's like, oh, that is so cute. I love it. But, you know, other than that, because a lot of people in our niche, you understand, you would know this, that their partners is not as supportive, you know, as they should be. I'm very lucky. My husband is like your wife, you know, we're very supportive.
That's wonderful.
What is that, you know, what would you recommend to people? And this is a bit of a tough question, and I don't know if you actually have advice on this, but what would you recommend to people that is in that space where their partner does not support what they do? Because I have a lot of friends that are sitting with that problem, and my heart is breaking for them, but I don't know how to help them because I'm not in that situation. So I don't know if you have some insight on this, maybe.
This is a good question because it's hard. It's like, it's really hard and it's really good. You know, I think that here's the deal. Everybody has their own path. Everybody is on their own journey. And it's really amazing when you and your partner have lined up and you're on the same journey. It's also really hard when you're not aligned. And sometimes the only thing you can do, you can't change people. You can only love them, right?
Exactly.
You try to change them and you try to get them to see it your way and you try to get them to respect you and you try to get them to, you know, understand whatever. They're going to entrench and dig in more into their position, right? Because more than anything, we love to be right. We just love to be right. And so I think that instead of, you know, they may not support you, and that's really painful and unfortunate. But you need to cultivate a certainty and a belief in yourself, a steadfastness, a commitment, and a certainty in your own vision that is so strong and so clear and such a clarion call to you. He or she may not hear it. You do. You hear it. You see it. You see it clear as day. And you need to just keep showing up every single day. Keep doing what you need to do to make that vision a reality. At some point, they will either get with it or they won't get with it. And either way, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to just keep doing your thing. It's fine. You know, success is sometimes I'll say this in quotations, success is sometimes the best revenge. I don't mean like I told you so, revenge like that. I just mean that maybe avoiding the topic altogether and just quietly dedicating yourself and getting yourself to the point where you're having some wins, that then those wins can kind of speak for themselves, right? And then you don't have to convince them with words. Your actions have convinced them. Your results, your outcomes have convinced them, right? So just keep your head down, do your thing, let your success speak for itself.
I love that advice. That's really good advice. So there you guys hear it from a person that have lots of success. I think it does. And that's basically what I've been telling my friends in that situation as well. You know, just don't give up. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Don't give up. And don't really engage on the topic. I just wouldn't engage on the topic as much as possible.
Yeah. Just like you say, keep your head down. I like that. Last question. Almost a little bit of a statement. So a lot of people, you know, they start out in this journey and they fail, and then they try again and they fail. I mean, I tried, I don't even know, 7, 8 times in like 6 months, and I failed, and then I tried again. There you go, you know. So sometimes, and I've seen it firsthand, you probably the two people will start, they fail, and they're like, okay, damn, I can't do this is too hard. And then I was like, get back up, you can do this, don't give up. But at the same time, you don't want to keep motivating people if they don't motivate themselves. But in saying that, what is that little piece of advice that you can give somebody when they fail and say, you know what, get back up, failure is part of success? What would you tell somebody to just, you know, basically, what is that little something you give them to just keep going?
I think these are the best questions I've ever gotten. Honestly, this is such a good interview. Honestly, I'm like so impressed with your questions. So it sounds really cliche. It does, but there literally is no difference between someone who succeeds and someone who quits, other than the number of times that this person got up after failing. That's the only difference. They failed just as many times as you did. There's no difference. They actually probably failed more times and just kept getting their butt up. And they kept going. 14 years of failure. Guys, you're probably brighter than I am. You're probably smarter than I am. You're probably quicker than I am. You'll probably make it in shorter amount of time. Like, I'm not that bright. I was just dogged and determined. Like a dog with a bone, I wouldn't let it go, right? Like, I have a determination. I am so freaking stubborn. Like, I'm the most stubborn human being you'll ever meet, which in this case turned out for me, right? Like, it just, you know, in other cases, it doesn't really turn out well for me. But in this application, that stubbornness, that determination, that absolutely unrelenting unwillingness to give up, even despite all the odds, despite all the evidence that I was a complete failure, all the evidence that I was a complete failure, right? I had no evidence I would succeed. I had no evidence. I had belief. I had belief. I had belief, right? No evidence. Sometimes it takes faith. Sometimes it takes a dogged determination that seems unreasonable to you, to your family, to your friends. I would say, how bad do you want it? You say you want it, but you're going to give up at the first failure. You're not cut out for it. You're going to give up at the first failure. Because entrepreneurship, all it is a series of failures until you make it. That's it. Series of failures, then you make it. And if you can't reconcile with a little bit of failure, not the game for you. It's just, you just got to be okay with failing fast, getting back up and trying again. And if that, you know, if you can't get into that rhythm, I fail all the time. I screw up all the time. You know, like, and then I get back up and I go, oh, okay, like, I'll do it different next time. Oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. You just can't take that stuff personally.
Exactly.
When a baby's learning to walk and they fall down and then they get back up, like, are they thinking all day, oh God, I fell down, I wonder what they think of me, oh Lord, oh. No, they get their butts back up and they keep moving, right? Be a baby, be a child. You've forgotten what it is to learn, that learning process. So just be okay with it. Get back up and keep it. Nothing serious is happening here. We're just learning. We're just learning. We're just figuring it out until we win. That's it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. My husband always tells me that I'm like a dog with a bone. I just don't give up. So I'm like, yeah, that's me. So I love to hear it from you too.
In this application, the entrepreneurial journey, it is a beautiful quality. It's beautiful. It doesn't help so much in like personal relationships sometimes, but you know, in personal relationships, you got to be a little more, you know. But in the entrepreneurial application, yeah, you got to show. But in the entrepreneurial application, wonderful thing, wonderful.
Oh, Alex, I've had such much fun. Thank you so much for having this with me. And I must admit, I was a little bit nervous when we started out, just a little bit. And I'm like, nah, this is just Alex. I can do this. And yeah, it just went away. It's so awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We will drop let me try it again. We will drop links on the bottom of this podcast. It's going to go to YouTube and the podcast app. And we will drop links where you can find Alex for a very cool group. One group.
Yeah, you
and
you can find me at the One Group Away Challenge, which Joy is a part of, right? And we're gonna like rock your groups if that's your thing. If you don't want to do groups, you can just come hang out in my Facebook group with me and see what I'm up to.
And it's great to hang with you. That's awesome.
You as well. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.